2, check. Two, hello, check. Check. Ambiguibot, thank you for the raid. Thank you, Ambiguibot, I appreciate that. Thank you, Sean Meat, for the raid as well. Sean, thank you. I hope the stream went well today, Sean. Welcome back to the platform. And thank you, 1.22 gigawatts. 15 months of tier 1. Thank you. I don't know if that's a new username because I don't recognize that chatter. But a 15-month resub from 1.22 gigawatts. A reference to the classic film Back to the Future, which I just rewatched just the other day. Still excellent. I'm watching your stream until the winter weather knocks out my electricity. Yeah, who's in the path of this? Like, isn't there like a historic storm? There's both there's a historic once in a generation polar vortex and a once in a generation snowstorm. Isn't that happening? A lot of once in a generation weather events going on lately, it seems like. I'm here for the JACKAM takeover stream. JACKAM making his triumphant return to Twitch. Unless I fucked this up. He said he was going to keep the time open. I don't know if I confirmed yesterday. Now I'm kind of anxious about it. We're going to see. Hopefully we're going to have JACKAM in 45 minutes or so. I had my friend film the Way of Water on their Android phone to send to me on their iPhone for maximum viewing experience. We talking 720p? Nice. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, it is a great movie. I was saying the other day, I did rewatch Back to the Future 2 as well. Back to the Future 2 is always my favorite one, and I really loved the last act of Back to the Future 2 when they revisit the events from the first film. And I think it's not exceptionally like worth anyone's time to go in and look at plot holes in these movies, you know? I always loved Back to the Future 2 when they go to the future, the hoverboard and the flying cars and all that stuff. I mean, I always thought that was so cool. There's just so much about the plot of the movie that doesn't make sense. And I know it's stupid to like try to understand or try to like point out the flaws, the logic flaws in a 1980s time travel comedy. As a kid, yeah, I loves going back to the OG climax. It's so cool. It's fucking great. There's just so much about this movie that doesn't make sense, though. You know, I feel like it's like they had the idea for the story, and then they kind of worked backwards from there, and they were just like all the stuff that doesn't make sense. They're just like, whatever, we don't need it. Like, okay, so they're in the future. They're in the future timeline. They're sneaking into Marty Sr.'s house. First of all, Doc Brown's like, we can't mess with the timeline too much. And then he goes to the future. He sees that Marty has become like a fuck up and his kids are fuck ups. And he's like, I immediately have to change this. I got to go change this thing. Like, who are you? Who are you, Doc Brown? Who are you to decide whether Marty McFly should be a fuck up or not when he grows up? Who are you to mess with the fates like this? Anyway, regardless of that. So they go to the future. They're sneaking into future Marty's house to try and like get him not to be an asshole. They're trying to get Jennifer out of there because of their meddling. Their fucking Doc's brilliant plan of just leaving Jennifer lying there, just leaving her lying in the street. He's like, oh, she'll be fine. And the cops are immediately, they find her and they bring her back to her house. You know, just that in and of itself. So they bring Jennifer to the future house. They're going to Marty's future house to get Jennifer out of there after doing the whole thing with his kids and everything. So then old Biff, who's been like, who spied on them and realized like he saw the DeLorean 30 years ago in 1984. And then he's seeing it again in 2015 or whatever it was, 1985. And then he's in 2015 in future Hill Valley. He sees the DeLorean again. And he overhears them talking about time travel and stuff. So he follows them to the suburb where future Marty's family lives. He takes the DeLorean Marty leaves the DeLorean despite the specific instructions from Doc Brown to stay there. He leaves the DeLorean. Biff takes the sports almanac. He grabs the DeLorean. He goes back to 1955 to give the almanac to his younger self, creating the alternate 1985 timeline, which is a great sequence, by the way. Like, when you don't think about any of this stuff, it's great. They go back to that alternate 1985 where it's all fucked up and Biff's the big boss of the whole city and he owns the cops and it's all fucked up and dystopian. You know, that's great. So Biff goes, but here's the issue though. Here's the issue. Biff goes back to 1955. He gives the sports almanac to young Biff, creating the alternate timeline. And then what does he do? What does he do after that, folks? He takes the DeLorean. He goes back to 2015, right back to where he took it, and just gives it back to Doc and Marty. Why? Why does he do that? And first of all, when he goes back to 2015, why isn't it now the alternate 2015 with the timeline that he just created? Why does he go back to the 2015 that Doc and Marty are still in and everything is the same? You know, I guess maybe there's the possibility that the future 2015 timeline changed when they were in that suburb, but they just didn't really notice all that much. Okay, maybe that's it. But why though? Why does he take the DeLorean and go back to 2015 and gives it back to Doc and Marty, giving them the opportunity to then go back to 1955 for the climax of the film? And allowing them the opportunity to go back and get the sports almanac back from young Biff, fixing the alternate 1985 timeline. Why does he do it? He's won at that point. Biff has won. He's won. He's given himself the sports almanac. He has a time machine where he can go anywhere or anywhere. He can do anything. And he goes back to 2015 and just gives it back to Doc and Marty. And then they go back and just fix all the things that he just messed up. Biff, what are you doing? What are you doing, sir? It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. Because Biff is an idiot. Maybe that's it. I mean, maybe it's as simple as that. You just don't need to... You don't need to even explain it beyond that. Maybe that's it. But that is one thing, and it's so nerdy to talk about this, and it's stupid to talk about plot holes in any science fiction movie or any time travel movie. It doesn't make any sense to do. It's stupid to do, but this is one of the things that whenever I rewatch the movie now, it just bugs me every time. He could have gone to the future to witness the heat death of the universe. That's right. Biff's entire bit is that he's a meathead, so we're surprised he made a boneheaded play. I mean, I guess that's as simple as it can be broken down. He's like, I'm going to get away with this little scam that I just pulled. I'll bring the DeLorean right back to them. They'll never even know I was there. Like, what? You've already won, Biff. Biff, you've already won. You don't need to go bring them the time machine. You can just leave them there. Just leave them in 2015. They're stuck there forever. You know? It doesn't make sense, folks. Why would Biff do that? He doesn't want to get caught. I guess it is kind of funny like that. Okay, we got Jack Allison. We got Jack Allison in about 30 minutes coming on for some more. I guess this sets the stage for like movie chat, because this is like a short stream. It's really like, this is a stream that is dedicated to talking about this nerdy shit, to talking about Avatar: The Way of Water with Jack Allison of JACKAM and Struggle Session. Yeah, this is going to be, I mean, there's going to be spoilers in this discussion. I tried to like give people in the community time to watch the film first, because I don't want to spoil the film for everyone. I think we can try to talk about it without like getting into the specific details of the story, the ending and everything like that. I do want people to see the film and still enjoy it. I don't want to ruin the movie for anyone. Where does Way of Water rank for you in sequels all time? I'm assuming Aliens is one. Yes, and I wore my Aliens shirt today for this specific reason. Yeah, I would say Aliens is number one. T2 probably number two. So I don't know about other sequels. In terms of Cameron, yeah, I would put it behind both of those, but that's not saying anything against Avatar. That just speaks to how perfect those two films are. The Two Towers is a really good one, yeah. Oh, Marty, you haven't seen T2? God damn it. Oh my goodness. We've got so many movie nights to catch up on here. We have to do that. Fuck. Marty, it's your kids. You've got to go back with me. Marty, we've got to go back to 1992 and see T2 in the theaters. I saw that with my dad back in 1992 in the movie theater. I'm glad I was around for that. I saw so many great movies in the theater in that period. Between like 91 and 94. What a great series. Endless episodes of all the movies Marty hasn't seen. Just endless. I'm literally rocking back and forth at Marty's comments. I'm having a hard time keeping it together, frankly. I'm not happy. I'm not happy about this. So this is where Rick and Morty got the inspiration from. Yeah, of course it's like a Doc and Marty parody. The original short that led to Rick and Morty though is super like disturbing, which plays into a weird pedophilic sexual angle that the series I think dropped for probably good reason. Dropped that angle. We also played outside. Yeah, hell yeah. Did a lot of that. Hooping in the driveway. A lot of driveway hooping during that period. He's certainly a type of guy. That's right. And so is Dan Harmon. The series has not dropped that angle. Oh, okay. Good. Good to know. I haven't been keeping up with it. I was a roller hockey at a parking lot guy. Like I never did that. But we, like in the house that I grew up in, like in the suburbs, we had this big, like, unfinished basement with like concrete, and I would rollerblade and do roller hockey in there sometimes. Rick and Morty is so Elon Musk adjacent. It's true, yeah. Rick and Morty definitely is something that I think is an artistic accomplishment that has a lot of merit. I think there's like, especially those early seasons, I really liked it a lot. But I think that is something that has been destroyed in retrospect by its own fandom, by that exact kind of like Reddit Elon loving weirdo, that it's been totally tainted by that. Just pumping tunes and skating in the basement for sure. I would watch D2, the Mighty Ducks too, and I'd go and rollerblade in the basement a little bit. I was more about hooping in the driveway though. What is your skin routine? I don't really have much of a skin routine. I'm cursed with very dry skin. I think it's hard. The video kind of covers it up, but I get sometimes very dry skin around this area here, which is frustrating. I used to be a huge Dan Harmon fan, a regular Harmontown listener. This was around 2015. Me too. Yeah, me too, Husker. Huge Harmon guy here. And I loved Harmontown. I always wanted to go. I loved those early seasons of Harmontown with the D&D and stuff. Then I think the more that you learned about Harmon as a person, especially the stuff as his relationship was exposed, and you see how he's kind of like a sociopath. Community, yeah, I loved Community. The turning point for me really though with Dan Harmon was the game theory thread, the Eric Garland game theory thread. And Dan Harmon was one of the people that shared it and be like, this is so great. And I was just like, I can never look at your work again and admire it. Like you're actually just a dumb guy, you know? And I was kind of operating here under the impression that you were some kind of artistic genius. And I see now that you're just kind of a dummy and just like a mean person. I got into a fight on Reddit with Spencer Crittenden about the DSA and he blocked me. Yeah, he's a big time lib, right? Spencer. Man. Yeah, he was big into like the Bernie bro, getting mad at the Bernie bros. Getting mad at the bros. He was really into that. Which is funny because like Harmon was like using him. How much do you think Harmon was paying Spencer during that time? He was driving him around. He was a big part of Harmontown. Do you think he was getting paid like how much? Minimum wage? I don't know how much Spencer was being paid during that period. I'm sure it was not his worth. What are we thinking? That's funny though, Husker, that you say that. I was totally the same way. I love Dan Harmon. I've forgotten all this happened. Unfortunately for me, my brain is a fucking encyclopedia for incredibly stupid bullshit. Important stuff, that's tricky. Important stuff, I have a hard time with that, but incredibly stupid online bullshit, I'm a fucking sponge. Yeah, that's exactly what book it is. Che, A Revolutionary Life by John Lee Anderson. I just picked it up recently, actually. It's sad though. It really was the game theory thread that for me was the nail in the coffin of my Harmon fandom. It's like I can't support this man anymore. Dan Harmon, I feel, played his greatest games and now he's out of ideas. Yeah, I don't know, like game theory NDs. I don't know, like I haven't really kept up on his like artistic or creative output. I haven't watched Rick and Morty in probably 3 or 4 years. So I don't even, is he still doing that? You know, I really did love Anomalisa. And in fact, I'm in the credits of Anomalisa because I was one of the backers on Kickstarter. Anomalisa was great. That wasn't really hard. That was his like production company and they did the stop motion, but creatively that was more of a Charlie Kaufman thing. But I am in the credits of Anomalisa because I supported it. It was when I had an actual job and I supported it. And that was a very good movie. Too self-satisfied, giving the social inequalities that exploded immediately after. Yeah, and is the class thing. So you can tell he's a wealthy person from the being a big TV guy and everything, even though he positioned himself as being this kind of outsider to that. And in some ways he was, but you know, let's not get too crazy talking about taxing the rich and all this stuff though, right? We don't want to go there. We don't want to go too far with this. To this day, I've never read the game theory thread, the whole thing. I remember just the basic premise, though. You think Obama and Hillary just abandoned us and they're just leaving us and taking off while Donald Trump, the orange man, is doing all this bad stuff? Folks, got some news for you. Let's break it down to some game theory. And lo and behold, though, that was actually, in fact, exactly what had happened. That was the game theory thread was the ultimate copium thread. You think they're just going to hand over the keys to Donald Trump and just walk away? Let me tell you, folks, strap in, fuckstables, because I'm going to, or whatever the language is that they say. I don't know, you know? Oh, and it's like, no, that's what happened. That's what happened. They just left. They're like, we lost to Trump. I guess I'm just gonna go and fucking on my yacht. I'll go and lick my wounds in my mansion. And Obama only emerged when Bernie had a possibility of winning the Democratic nomination. He came in and said, no, 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 no. He said, let me be clear. Let me be clear. The Bernie Bros, the number one greatest threat facing America. I've heard rumors that Bernie Bros online have been sending snake emojis to Elizabeth Warren because they hate women. Right? That's what he was doing. That was his genius play when he came back. Also, I'm ashamed how much I still had some part of me that thought that some part of the system would just unceremoniously crush Trump, even if it out of self-preservation in the way it did Bernie. I mean, it's the ultimate example of the way, Sean, that Trump wasn't a threat to the system. And if Trump had followed through on some of his more extreme ideas, not extreme for us, but extreme for like the establishment, especially when it comes to NATO. He was talking about pulling out of NATO and stuff like that. That's what he would not have been allowed to do. And had he actually threatened American hegemony in any way, then you would have seen them come together to destroy Trump. But he never did that. Like, that was always bullshit. All the stuff about when you would talk about the wars or getting, this kind of like isolationist bent that some of his fans would think, the delusional fans would think that he has, if he had ever followed through on any of that, that's when you would have seen that happen. And they still did try to destroy him as much as they could because they just found him rude and uncouth. I got a little treat here. I got a little treat. I had very little time to eat this morning. I was really rushing to do the stream. I had a little tuna panini a moment ago, which was very good actually. And by the way, I have to say happy birthday to my son. It's my son's birthday today. He just turned 7 years old. And I fucking love that guy so much. We already celebrated it a bunch. He already had his birthday party 2 weeks ago. We went to the hotel with the pool last week, so he'll be lucky if he gets a piece of cake. Take your cake and just don't complain. You already get celebrated. But no, we'll have some cake and stuff tonight. Still, he has 3 birthday celebrations. This is how lucky this guy is, because we don't want him to do like a Christmas. He's such a Christmas baby. So now he gets 3 birthday celebrations rather than just one, or rather than combining it into Christmas. But that'll, happiest day, best day of my life was the day he was born. 7 years old. It's really hard to believe. Talking about movies, it was the day after I saw The Force Awakens in theater. And the next day he was born. Second best day was Avatar 2 day, of course. So I just had my tuna melt anyways. And there's a really good pastry place next to me here. And I got this eclair. Check out this eclair. Is this, now, I didn't know if this was filled with cream or something, and I think it might be. I don't think I've ever had an eclair before. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. That's really serious. That's really serious shit. It's filled with it's filled with like a chocolate cream filling. I need to apologize to the Sinclair. I was not really familiar with its game. It's true. Man, I'm going to eat that, I think, when the stream is over, because I think eating that on the stream is just probably not a good idea. It's probably not a good idea to be eating this thing with like cream exploding all over my face on camera. We don't want that. I don't think we want that. I don't want it. Certainly no one in the chat wants that. So let's just move on. Oh, that's so long. Ah. Too late, Robin. Working on an eclair emote right now from a juicy screenshot. It was really good. It was really good. It's just dangerous to be eating that on stream. It was really a dangerous game. So I guess one way we could get warmed up here is by looking at the trailer. Okay? I wonder if I can convince Jack to do a pug face. I wonder if Jack and I can both do a pug face. That'll be really good for the screenshot, the YouTube screenshot. Maybe that's gonna juice my YouTube algorithm rankings if we're both on there going with the blue people and stuff in the background, the Navi. What do you think is better? What do you think is better in terms of like a YouTube face? Is it like this with the lips? Or is it like the open mouth scream like what do you think is better for that? Do the soy face but Photoshop your faces in Navi. I think that's probably the best. I think that's probably the best thing to do. That's a little trickier than what I had in mind. I think but the thing is, if it's the confused look on your face with the photoshopped question mark over your head, that's when you're not happy about something. That's when you're questioning like why they hired Brie Larson, or why woman in film, why woman playing in movie or whatever. You know? But I think if it's because I think we're both Avatar heads, so I don't think we want to question any of that.
You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Thank you for the gifted sub, Carmine Social Distancing. To me, I think it's soy face. I think if I could do a Navi Photoshop soy face, that is the ultimate way to do it. I am going to put this on YouTube though. We'll see. Maybe I can become a YouTube like film guy. I felt better about the pog face, but I saw people in the chat doing the open mouth. Avatar 2 ending explained. I'm just practicing for the thumbnail. I'm practicing for the thumbnail face. Both are excellent. We got a couple ones to work with there. We got a couple faces to work with. Ten Easter eggs you missed during Way of Water, but the thumbnail shows 9/11 and Saddam Hussein in the background. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's going to be great to catch up with Jack Allison. It's been a while since I talked to Jack. I guess I'll just go ahead and send him the you should bog face at a parent teacher conference. Just that's my only contribution. God, it's so sick.
Dad, I know you think I'm crazy.
That's behind those big rocks.
But I feel her. I hear her heartbeat. She's so close.
Payakan.
So what does her heartbeat sound like?
Mighty.
We cannot let you bring your war here.
Outcast. That's all they see.
I see you.
The way of water connects all things. Before your birth and after your death.
This is our home!
I need you with me. And I need you to be strong. Strong-hearted.
Oh man, I got to see it again. I was planning on going to see it tomorrow with my partner. I was kind of hoping we could do that, but too much going on with the birthday stuff and the Christmas. Am I crying? I'm remembering what was going on in that scene, and I was getting a little emotional. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was going to go with my partner tomorrow to see it. Just a little choked up. No problem. Because I wanted to introduce her to that but I wanted to introduce her to the way of water. But just too much going on with Christmas and birthday stuff and all that business. So hopefully going to go over the Christmas break for number two. Number two. I really want to go see it a second time too. I think I'm going to enjoy it more the second time, Relic. I was kind of overwhelmed the first time. Let's bring on Jack Allison. I'm going to send him a Zoom invite right now. What do we got here? Zoom. Just bear with me a moment. I'm just going to open up Zoom here. I'm going to send an invite to Jack Allison. We're going to talk about, like, I wanted to do this about Avatar. While Jack is there, though, I would like to catch up with him about a few things that have been going on in the old United States as well. While he's here, because I have always appreciated Jack's takes about a variety of different subjects. Invite link. What am I looking at here? Here you go. Okay. So we got Jack Allison coming on. Very cool. I'm excited. It's too big, obviously. Make that smaller. That really did make me want to see that again. Just watching the trailer just now. Any moment now. Any moment now, we will be joined by our friend, my friend and yours, Jack Allison. Is now a bad time to try to take another bite of the eclair? I feel like it's just asking for trouble. I got no napkins or anything near me. You know, fuck it. Fuck it. Oh my goodness. I did see what Edie Falco said. Apparently she filmed her scenes like years ago now. I'm just going to pause the alerts just in case. I know the subs are going to be rolling in during this segment. I'm going to pause those. Yeah, I guess she filmed her scenes like years ago and she was just like, she thought the movie had come out already. She's very fun in the movie too. She was a great addition to the whole universe. Fuck, that Eclair was good. Really good stuff. How are the white guys with dreads and tats and stuff? Well, they're not white, they're blue. Hey, Jack. Jack, hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Is my audio okay? I'm using my computer mic, but I can switch to my podcast mic if that's better.
No, this is fine. It sounds fine, man.
Great.
It's
How
great.
you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's great to see you.
Good to see you too.
It's been a while, Jack.
I know it's been a long time. What's been up?
I've just been here the whole time. Just day in, day out, right here on twitch.tv,
Wow.
which I know you're
exciting.
familiar with, the grind. The streaming grind
I'm
set.
very familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we live now?
We're
trying to
live
pull up-
right now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, right back in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the grind is really something. We can talk about it off air sometime if you like.
Yeah. Well, there's a number of people in this community that were big Jack AM heads as well. So I think there's a bunch of people that are happy to have you. Jack's audio's low. Okay, I'm gonna boost it a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, I can switch to my other mic too. Just give me one. See, I have a problem here where I left my fucking laptop charger at work. So if I leave all of a sudden, that might be why. But if you give me a sec, I can try to plug in my real mic.
Yeah,
here.
it's more up to you. I'm good. I'm good. I just boosted the volume. People are saying
Okay.
it sounds fine. I think it's all right.
Cool, sweet. We can do
Yeah.
this then.
All right, let's figure. We can fuck it. We'll do it live.
Yeah, we'll do it live.
So you're looking good, Jack. I like you're all navied out. You're putting me to shame here.
I'm gonna tweet out the stream here. Sorry, I'm it's been so long since I've been on Twitch. I'm a little bit like rusty at all this stuff.
Yeah. I know.
But yeah, I'm all navied out. I wore this to the movie, my second time seeing the movie. A friend of mine sent this to me from Disney World Animal Kingdom or something. These are the Disney, Mickey Mouse ears that they have at Pandora Land over there.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, you saw it twice already. I was hoping to go see it for the second time tomorrow. I just wasn't able to do it. Wasn't able to make the timing work, but I am looking forward to round two. I just watched the trailer just to get in the Avatar Way of Water mindset before you showed up, and it really made me want to go. I was getting emotional a little bit from.
I want to go back. I'm a sufferer of that Avatar, depression that people got from the first movie.
Yeah, it's funny because I have tweets from that from like 2009, like when I was first joined Twitter. That was one of the first things that I was like often talking about was how much I would love going to see Avatar. So I'm an Avatar head from way back. And now you can't see me. I don't have my Avatar ears, but I do have my James Cameron Aliens shirt on today.
Oh,
so.
very nice. Very nice. I can see it now. I
Okay.
pulled up the stream, and after sitting through, I think, 2 Glass Onion trailers, I'm able to see the stream now.
Okay, good. Excellent. So obviously you were very hyped for this film, Jack. I think we know. But my question, I guess, to start off this discussion of Avatar: The Way of Water, did this movie meet your expectations? Like, how did it perform compared to your expectation level?
Yeah, I mean, this is like, to be honest with you, sorry, my dog is whining. This is just a mess already. This is not, the wait was long for me to return to Twitch, but it's not coming together quite as much as Way of Water did. I liked the movie a lot, and there were things that I was kind of worried about in the lead up to it and in the original announcement and everything. The chief of which was the kids I was like, they announced that there was going to be this new generation of Avatar kids, and so many things, so many, franchises and movies have tried to do this passing of the torch and, introducing new young characters and everything. And I was very worried about the Avatar juniors, like the little
Yeah.
Avatar brats or whatever. And I think that they worked quite well, actually. I was pretty on board for all of them, actually. Loak especially, I thought was great.
Yeah.
I thought, Sigourney Weaver's Kiri was really good. Took was funny. The only one that like wasn't quite doing it for me was like Nathan, or whatever. But then, this is going to be a spoiler discussion, I guess.
Well, I'm trying to. I did warn my community. There are people that haven't seen it, so I'm trying to wonder if we can somehow maybe tiptoe around the major plot points.
Okay,
while
then
also not.
Then I shall tiptoe. I do think that Natana, or I can't remember exactly what his name was redeemed as a character by the end of the movie. Yes. I definitely kind of ended up feeling like I liked him, but Loak I was kind of on board the entire time. And Kiri, I'm kind of like, I'm like, give Sigourney Weaver Best Supporting Actress, because I buy this woman in her mid 70s as a teenage girl.
Yeah. I not only bought it with the kids, but I left the theater being like, I want to see 3 more films of these kids growing up, and especially like Loak's journey, right, from being this kind of outcast, this kind of like second son syndrome, to becoming something greater than that, and you see the beginning of that journey in this movie, and I'm just like, I left the theater super hyped to see that continue. And I guess we got
the 4th movie, the name that got leaked, it may not end up being the final name, but the leaked name is the Tulkun Rider. And I'm like, well, that sounds like that might be a Loak to me. It sounds like Loak might, go from being this bratty second son to being the prophesied Tulkun Rider.
Yeah. And I guess we shouldn't be surprised by James Cameron, considering the way that he's been able to walk that line throughout his career, in incorporating kids especially into these sequels.
Sure.
In Aliens, in T2, famously.
Newt is one that did not do it for me as much, but also I haven't seen Aliens in many, not many years, but in a decent number of years at this point. And I'm like, I wonder now, being a little older, if Newt would bother me less, maybe I had a little bit of my like teenage, cynicism or something, being maybe, like, fuck Newt.
Man, it never bothered me, and I guess Newt was such a huge part of Ripley's character arc that it just felt so essential to the movie, and it really it added something to Ripley's whole journey in the end of the film.
I do think it adds something to Ripley, and it makes Ripley, especially in a sequel, to sort of add something new like that to a character is great.
Yeah. But I guess we shouldn't be surprised by Cameron being able to do that. But yeah, I felt the same way. I didn't really look into the spoilers for this film that much going in. I wasn't sure. I knew this dynamic was going to be there, but I found myself definitely in the first few minutes being a little overwhelmed by the big exposition dump and the voiceover narration. That was very similar to how the first film starts. But really, as soon as it settled into that dynamic of like the Sully family and spending time with the kids in the family, I was just totally sucked into it, and I totally bought it. And it just pulled me right into that world, and that's the amazing thing about this movie, I think, is that if that dynamic doesn't work, there's no movie. If you don't buy into that, and buy into the stakes of the caring about this family, then it just doesn't work. But it absolutely worked on me.
Yeah, and if there's any part of the movie that works less, and I not to say that it doesn't work, but just maybe a part that maybe works less, it is that like right at the beginning of the movie, just because there's so much that they have to lay out. There's so many new characters to introduce, and so much ground setting to lay out. And then also, while all that stuff was cool and it was necessary, it's kind of a revisiting of the stuff that happened in Avatar 1. Like, not necessarily a recap, but we're in the forests, we're seeing the humans come down and, put a bunch of fire to all the trees and everything like that. For me, I love the kids, and, I definitely think it like popped off as soon as, especially when Quaritch shows up as Quaritch Avatar. I was like very on board. But like when the movie truly pops off and never stops is like when they get to the titular water, when we get to James Cameron's first love, the sea.
Yeah, it was really cool. Just expanding, just seeing the universe expand like that. Talk about something that also like speaks to different sequels, and it just made me so excited to see that expand further and to see more biomes on the planet, to maybe see maybe eventually going into space, you know.
For sure. I think that there's a comic out now I haven't read yet, I think called The High Ground, that's based on like an aborted Avatar 2 script where the Na'vi do go into space to fight the humans.
That's cool.
Which I'm into it. I want to see it, and
yeah, but
I've heard, you know, there was like rumors that the Na'vi will come to Earth at some point or something, and I'm truly into all of it.
they should come. Yeah, they should come and fix all our broken dying planet, which is like explained in this movie.
If the Na'vi came to Earth and they found out that whales have something that give Na'vi permanent life, and sort of they become the villains.
we deserve it. You know,
yeah,
we deserve
it.
No, it was really cool to see the universe expand. I really liked seeing the different tribe of Na'vi, that different physiology that's developed, like close to the water and the sea, and seeing the differences between the two different cultures. It's so funny. Like that was one thing that I really didn't expect. You knew the family angle was going to be there, but how it's almost like it's like a family road trip. Almost like it's funny at times. Like you see, because like Sully has brought his like kind of humanity to the Na'vi in a way, even though he's kind of accepted life as being one of them, but they're very much take on this kind of like human quality in terms of their family. There's that really funny scene when they take like a selfie and it's like all their eyes are all like
it's good.
It's great. I thought that was so great.
Yeah, which is fun. Yeah, I mean, I also think, you know, the core of the movie, you know, kind of what makes it so universal. We're on this weird alien planet, but it really is kind of just a story about like kids trying to fit in. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's not really. And that's the thing about it, you know, it's like if you want to talk about like the writing of it, I think the writing is very solid, you know, but also it's not meant to be flashy, I would say, the writing side of it. Although I think that there's a lot of like great ideas in there and everything like that, you know. This is like about, you know, the experience and the journey, and it's not meant to be a big it's a movie you basically, except for sort of one moment, is like spoiler proof in a weird way. Like, you know, there's not a ton that happens in it that's not, you know, what you would expect to happen in an epic adventure story, but it's just done and executed in such a, you know, I don't know, stunning way, like kind of unlike anything we've ever seen before, that you're on board the entire time, you know. And I think also it's earnestness, and, you know, and James Cameron, and, you know, just in being so earnest with the story and really honoring the story, even if it is just sort of a basic, you know, adventure movie plot, you know, really makes it work. There's not a lot of like winks to the camera, except for one joke from Took, which I think also works kind of as a you know, character joke too. But there's not a lot of winky, we're better than this kind of, you know, material,
which is all over the Marvel films constantly. Like, oh, this is so stupid. Like winking at the audience. Like, we know this is what like, you're watching is dumb trash. Like we're aware of that.
Octavius, really? That's your freaking name, dude? Otto Octavius. I'm like, exactly. And first of all, the name Otto Octavius is not even that weird to begin with. It's just alliteration. You know what I mean? And second of all, like, you live in a superhero world. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, how many times have we gotten like okay, Ant-Man? You're actually calling yourself Ant-Man.
We've got to find a necklace for a wizard. It's like, it seems like a normal thing to happen.
Big purple guy glove. Okay, I guess we're doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like
the purple guy's behind me, isn't he? Yeah.
I do have buy-in, you know, with Avatar, and it like makes the world feel realer and more believable that the characters aren't constantly selling out, you know, what the world is to show that the writers are smart.
Yeah, I like that it takes itself totally seriously. I really like that a lot. And just in terms of like the visual aspects as well, it's like I didn't have the feeling of depression of like I want to go live on Pandora or anything, but I did have a weird realization in the days following seeing the film where I was like, I really had to come to grips with the idea that like nothing that I was seeing there was real. Like it gets to a point where your brain believes it believes like it crosses that point where your brain just accepts what you're seeing as being something that's real, and the water, the environments, the people, and it's like afterwards I was just like I had a stunning realization. Yeah,
and I think the thing that like really struck me with this movie is, and where I think they've made the biggest leap, like technology wise, is in capturing performance, from the, in the Navi characters. I really like, compared to the first one. And I've also been rewatching, the Lord of the Rings movies, which I love, and I kind of watch them every holiday. But I've just been looking at Gollum, and I'm like, man, Gollum, while really good, just doesn't have that far beyond like a Shrek's level of emoting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this movie, we are truly with Shrek's for the entire 3-hour runtime. And there are a lot of moments where you kind of like forget that these are fully digital characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that these are like, there are moments when you kind of feel like you're like, okay, so this must be someone like with paint on their face or something. And it never is. Like the fidelity of the performances is really pretty staggering. And obviously the water is really good and everything like that. But I was just really struck by like, damn, we are really with full digital characters. And maybe like there's like 2 or 3 humans in it. You know what I mean? Like there's maybe, as far as humans, even in scenes, it maybe tops out at like 25 or 30 minutes. And you really do buy in. The first Avatar buys a lot by like switching with Jake having a lot of scenes outside of the Avatar body, like we're like constantly sort of switching back and forth. This one, he's just the Avatar the entire time. And I really like bought the emotion of this family of Shreks, of a 3-hour long Shrek. It really I buy it.
Yeah. I think one thing that I had a hard time with just for the first part of the movie was the high frame rate stuff, which has always bugged me as well. When The Hobbit tried that, I found it so off-putting and I didn't like looking at it. It made everything look cheap and weird. Yeah. And I think for probably the first 15, 20 minutes of this movie, it was bothering me a little bit. But I think as I got accustomed to looking at it, similar to the 3D, once you settle into it, I stopped noticing it after about 30 minutes into the movie. And then it did add to the kind of hyper-realism of everything.
I think that it's the best that it's been done. You know what I mean? Because I even like, just as a movie, someone who likes weird movie tech and stuff like that, I even kind of liked watching Hobbit, even though I do completely concede that it's a truly strange decision and it really made a lot of those scenes look weird. I will say this is probably the best it's been done. I get why filmmakers keep trying to crack, that thing, because when it works, it like really is transporting and strange. What I found actually with the high frame rate is that it kind of because he cuts between high frame rate and 24 frames per second, like, intercuts just from shot to shot. Okay. And I found that it sometimes made the 24 frames per second stuff look choppy. Like I was that's like, and, and I think that like he got the closest to it working here, but it's still not quite there. But I like a lot of the sort of tech focused filmmakers. I'm still a believer that there's something about this, but it hasn't quite been fully cracked yet. But some shots in the 48 in the high frame rate, you're like, oh god damn, like that is like insanity, and I've never seen anything like that. It
was really cool too. Again, not getting too into like this plot point spoilers as well, though, but just in that climactic sequence, it was really cool functioning just in terms of like the story of the film, but also taking us through almost like a James Cameron museum of like of all of his greatest hits. Yeah. And you see you see Aliens, you see T2, you see Titanic, you see The Abyss, like all coming together in this kind of one big climactic moment. As just a James Cameron fan, I thought that was so cool.
In some ways, I'm like, what in the fuck is this man? I know he's going to be able to, because you kind of felt like this after Avatar 1, but like after that third act climax, the last hour of the movie, I'm kind of like, what in the hell where can he go from here? You know what I mean? Like, this is almost like, I'm like, this would be in a way like a perfect final film. And he's still planning to do 3 more, not even just a perfect final film for Avatar, but like a perfect final film for James Cameron. But yeah, I'm like, what in the hell is going to happen? I went and saw the first screening I saw. A friend of mine brought me to a SAG screening, so it was a couple days early, and it was at the El Capitan, and they had a little Q&A with some of the actors from it. They had Stephen Lang was there, Sam Worthington was there, and Sigourney Weaver was there, and they said about the scripts, they were like, number 3 kind of picks up where this one left off. 4 and 5 are insane. They were like 4 and 5. No one has any idea what's going to happen. We've read the scripts, and you couldn't even imagine what's going to happen in these movies. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can't imagine either. I'm. It's weird. I have kind of two minds about it too, because I'm excited about James Cameron just making more of these films. I want to see the films, but it would be nice for someone that's so like, he's not a prolific filmmaker. It would be cool to see him do something different and do something that's smaller and go back to doing something like what he was originally into, like when he started out.
I agree. I'm also this is the decade of Avatar. It's something I've been saying, for a little while, that 2020s are going to be the decade of Avatar. And that is for James Cameron too. Like, he is now already partially done. I look at like Avatars 2 through 5 as one massive mega movie. You know what I mean? Like, people are complaining that this movie is over 3 hours long. And I say that James Cameron is being, he's being kind to you by not just releasing the 21-hour long, or the 12-hour long movie. Like, really what he's making here is a 12-hour long movie, but he's cut it into 4 movies, to be kind to you.
I would do it too. I'd get one of those astronaut diapers and just go and I would do the whole thing, whatever. I don't care.
I'm like, he is so to your point about like, I wish he would go back to doing some other stuff. I'm open to it. I think his first real love though is bathyspheres and undersea exploration. Yeah. And so I think that like, if he wasn't making Avatars, he's probably just going to go back to like exploring the Marianas Trench and shit like that. Yeah. But either way, I'm also like, if he spends this decade making Avatars and then kind of hangs his hat up with Avatar, maybe we'll get something else from him.
Yeah, yeah. And even if he didn't, I mean, that's still a pretty good thing to hang your hat on at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think so. This movie, there's a lot of weird discourse about, how it's performing, and people, are saying, if it doesn't make all this money, it is the most expensive movie. Is it going to make all this money? Is it going to be able to, match the original? Already the first weekend beat the original, you know what I mean? And like,
the original famously took time to build up steam as well. Like I remember all the same discourse in 2009 about the original one.
There is a great, Leslie, pulled out a great Perez Hilton article from the Monday after Avatar 1 came out, being like, it's a flop. Yeah, biggest flop Avatar ever. Has flopped. And so the big thing with Avatar compared to other movies like a Doctor Strange, like Doctor Strange had a better first weekend than Avatar, but Avatar is a movie that you must see in 3D, and there's only so many 3D theaters, and then there's only so many Dolby 3D theaters, which is really the way to see it. And so this is a movie, I think that people, you look at the 3D showings and they're all packed. So I think that this is like going to have legs in terms of like, people are kind of waiting to see the 3D version of it. And it's having really odd box office records. Like, it had the biggest Tuesday ever. And so I'm like, that to me reads like a movie that's just going to keep, chugging along. The first Avatar, it was a marathon. It was not a sprint. Like, it got to the biggest movie ever over a series of months. And already like, it's past $500 million in its like first week. So I think a lot of like, just because it has to be the biggest movie ever, there's a lot of discourse around like, ooh, did it fail? And I'm like, yeah, there's, by the way, they've also cleared out the release schedule until like February because movies are so scared of Avatar. So I don't know. I think that we're going to see, more, we're going to see it do well over time. And also, I mean, I don't particularly care if the Disney company makes money. No. I just do want to see more of these movies.
Yeah, I want to see more of the films. Absolutely. So I saw it in IMAX 3D, which was great. Yeah. You said Dolby was the way to go, because I heard that there was this other format that I wasn't familiar with, that it gets projected like on the wall of the cinema or something like that. Like,
is that what the hell?
It's like Cinescope or something, like something like that.
Something like that. I know that my friend saw a Top Gun screening that had like the sides of the theater were also projected on. Okay. But yeah, Cameron, I think, has said that Dolby 3D is the way to go. And just, to my personal opinion, I've been seeing, I'm an AMC A-list member, of course. And so I've been seeing a lot of movies, this year. And I think that Dolby does maybe have IMAX beat these days.
Okay,
I think they have the high dynamic range, the sound is incredible, the image quality is great, and a lot of these IMAX theaters are a little bit older, and so Dolby has them beat on the seats too. Like they have the big nice recliner seats along with the, I think, better picture quality and everything.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Maybe for round 2 I'll go with that and see what the difference is.
I honestly am interested, and this is a truly like unhinged person thing, but I kind of want to see like the 2D 24 frames per second version. There's a part of me that, like, just for the sake of comparison, wants to go see the totally normal version and see how it feels to watch that. Well,
for as much as people talked about the original, like it's only a theater thing, like no one ever watches it as I watched the original film the week before just on I have a pretty nice TV. It's like it's a LG OLED TV. It's fucking great. I think it looks fantastic still. I
mean, I of course went and saw the 3D re-release this year, but before that, one night I just put on Avatar because I was like, oh, I think I'll just have Avatar on in the background because it's like cool looking. I ended up like sucked in and watched the entire movie. Like, by the way, the extended version that you can get on Blu-ray and I think is on streaming does have some very cool extra scenes, especially right at the beginning of Avatar.
Don't they show Earth?
1. They show Earth,
yeah,
and it's a great little sequence that is extremely predictive. It's like Earth, and then it like pulls up, and we see how super overcrowded it is, and people are using like oxygen masks and things like that. Then we cut to Jake Sully's apartment, which, I mean, he predicted how life is going to be. It's a tiny shithole apartment, but with a huge OLED flat screen TV, just like all of us. Like he's like in exposed brick. It's like the tiniest ever, but he's got a gigantic, flat screen TV. And yeah, that's like a great sequence that I get why in the movie they were like, let's just throw them into space right away. But I really like that sequence in the original movie.
I want to talk a little bit about the criticism of this movie, and not so much with the story stuff. I mean, I'm tired of these arguments about, it's derivative, it's Pocahontas or whatever. It's the new world. Touch on that
briefly,
whatever. It's Fern Gully. Like, I don't care.
I'll touch on that briefly, which is just to say that Pocahontas and Fern Gully were based on real life events. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like when people are like, it's like Pocahontas. I'm like, yeah, and like, is that your only interaction with the history of like Native Americans? Is the story of Pocahontas? Like, yeah, sometimes fiction is based on events that happened in real life.
Especially these big epic stories. You see these stories repeat themselves throughout our culture, time and time again,
like,
for a reason.
Like maybe like if you want to make a movie that's actually about something, you'll end up making a story, like basing it on one of the great horrendous original sins of the country that we live in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I want to get into some of the criticism like that I've seen, like particularly from Indigenous people who, are talking about how it's culturally appropriative. The idea of like taking these Indigenous tropes, but casting white actors to play the characters. People saying that it's like anti-Indigenous in a way on that level. And this is a tricky subject matter as well, because I would never say to an Indigenous person that's complaining about that, no, you're wrong to think that. I would never think that. And I think you could definitely make that argument when you're talking about like white saviorism or the whole, Sully going into this, that trope, that kind of troubling.
I mean, I will say, I saw somebody make a point, and I thought this was a good point, that as far as white savior movies, this is the only one where the white savior actively gives up his whiteness.
He kills his own white body,
his white skin, and becomes, part of the blue race or whatever.
Yeah.
Some of the rest of it, I don't know. I would never want to, like you said, I'd never tell anyone to like not feel that way about something. And I do think that Cameron can probably do better with the diversity of the people that he casts, in the movie.
Yeah, like Kate Winslet is fine in this movie, but like Kate Winslet didn't need to be there. I don't recognize Kate Winslet really in the performance.
She was like good in it, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, there's the part of me too that's like, I don't know. Like, Kate Winslet is a good actress, and James Cameron has actors that he likes working with and stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't know. I just like frankly, I don't know. It's again, I don't want to. It's not my place to like speak on this kind of stuff, and so I don't want to deny anyone their sort of feelings about it. And I think that they're honestly held. I don't personally have that problem with it, but hopefully if Cameron feels that the criticism is well warranted, he'll like address it. I guess is how I feel about it. But ultimately, I think it is like, as far as like it's like politics and it's like view of the world and everything like that, I think it is like positive, and so improvement can be made with anything.
That's what I mean. It's like, this is a major Hollywood blockbuster film, and the explicit theme of this movie is that armed, violent, militant resistance to like colonialism and this kind of extractive capitalism is not only necessary but morally righteous and a good thing to do.
Like extremely violently, like compared to some of these other movies, like a lot of blockbusters that we have here don't show any deaths whatsoever. Like aside from I agree with you. I think that it's rare to see a movie that has politics like this. As someone in the chat is mentioning, it's like James Cameron did show up, to a lot of like to Standing Rock and all these kind of things and everything.
In Brazil, see the tribe that was protesting a big dam that was in the Amazon rainforest as well. He's been big on that.
Right. I mean, he's like he has, I don't know, good. Probably not perfect politics because he's a massively rich man or whatever. But as far as these kind of things go, I also think that there's a hollowness sometimes in like just, in just nothing but representation. You know what I mean? Like to me, I'm like, is the Black Panther a better movie because it actually casts a lot of black actors, but has these pro CIA and pro imperialist themes? You know what I mean? Like, in some ways, I'm like, it's so surface level to just care about like, the ratio of how many people are cast and everything like that. But also, again, I'm like, let everyone have their criticisms and it's all gravy,
but that's right. That's Black Panther's such a good example. That like the ultimate theme of that movie is like the way to have reparations and to heal these like traumatic wounds in these black communities is to work with the CIA to open a single community center in South Central Los Angeles, and that's the way you do things. And if you're stealing away art that's been stolen by these colonizers, or if you're arming and organizing these militant communities to fight back against their oppressors, that's a big no-no. You don't want any of that. But
I mean, just think about how many modern movies have the villain, because they have this idea that they want villains to be like relatable and to have like not to be just pure evil and everything. But there are so many movies where the villain is an environmentalist, like this is a very common thing in modern blockbusters, is the environmentalist villain. And Avatar just doesn't want to have that. I mean, sometimes nuance, you just don't fucking need it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes like the bad guys are just America and the people that want to extract, natural resources and kill people and cultures doing it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be like, sometimes nuance isn't useful.
Well, and on that note too, with this film, I mean, the first film, as much as it got criticism for like the whole like unobtainium angle, which I also thought was stupid. Like it's difficult to obtain. I can get into it. So these scientists came up with a cheeky name for it. Like,
first of all, by the way, this is the other argument for unobtainium, of which there are many, but unobtainium is a term that's used in science already. Unobtainium is a term that they use to describe elements that don't exist when they're talking about theoretical science. Like when they're talking about like, oh, this might be able to work if we found an element such as unobtainium. It is kind of a cheeky thing that they do. So it's really not out of the realm of possibility that scientists would eventually name a perfect substance unobtainium. And then on top of that, even if if it wasn't used in science, I think it's like a good kind of mythic name that like, you know, we immediately understand what the fuck that is from the first time anyone said it. So I think that criticism was a little goofy and overblown.
Yeah, it's a funny thing to get hung up on.
Yes,
but I did like how this movie, though, explicitly is more about, like, the resource extraction is part of it, but it's also just about settler colonialism, right? And they're talking about just colonizing the planet now. And I thought that was an interesting. I
thought so too, actually, and it is like the next step in like the America thing. You know, it is like, you know, what Edie Falco is there for is to like establish, you know, American human life on Pandora. You know, it's not about just getting the unobtainium, although there is also the great what is it called, like Amber,
the Tulkun
Amrita.
That's really very cool.
I love the explanation by the whaler where he's like, this stuff stops human aging, like stops it. That line, I'm like, that is like 6 words long, and we're like, okay, damn, I get it. Like crazy. Like, holy shit, yeah, people would do some crazy stuff for that.
And yeah, I guess just to get it, like, just the final thing on that whole criticism again, I'm really making an effort to be sensitive about that. And I, like we were saying, I wouldn't want to tell anyone how to feel about it. I guess that's where I find it a little bit, it goes off the rails a little bit, is that's kind of like what science fiction is supposed to be about, is these kind of allegories and metaphors and using these fantastic creatures to tell stories about humanity and Earth. Like I think the Bajorians and the Cardassians in Deep Space Nine is a great example where the Bajorians are like, they're simultaneously Palestinians and they're Jews being persecuted during the Holocaust. And, you know, I think that's what great science fiction is taking these kind of things and telling us stories about humanity using these fantastical concepts.
I agree with that. And I also do think that, you know, maybe where James Cameron made a misstep here is with, but I don't know if it's even a misstep because I do think it works, but he has just made the Na'vi so explicitly Native Americans, although it's a little more so in the first movie than in the second, you know, but there is a little bit like of the thing where you're like, you know, he needs to cast Native people. And I'm like, but is this just Native Americans, or is it also like African tribes? Is it like every type of?
Well, it's like the Sea tribe is kind of like Maori as well. It's like, it's about a bunch of different victims of colonialism, right? From around the world.
Yeah. It's kind of all of them. And, you know, like, you know, I don't know. And so in some ways, yeah, like, and then also, you know, I would even say this about the white savior narrative in movies and everything like that, is that like, yeah, like fiction is supposed to expose people to new ideas and to new, you know, concepts kind of through characters that they relate to. And a very basic way of doing that is by having a character that kind of looks like the person who needs to understand this moral, you know what I mean? It's like the white savior thing is like, yeah, because you're trying to make a story to help white people understand why what happened is fucked up. And so it's like, yeah, like that, so they can kind of identify with a character and see through their eyes and everything like that. Like I just don't necessarily see it as such like a pro-white thing, although I understand the criticism, and I do think that, you know, it's worth, you know, having this in mind when you're creating new stories. And it really did become, you know, a stereotype in movies and everything like that. But I don't think that the motives of it were quite so nefarious as like, we're going to show people that like only white people can save the day. I think it was more like,
we literally need to kill white people by the thousands.
Other cultures. Yeah.
No, I think that's an important point. So I'm really happy to have you come on and talk about the film, Jack. It was really cool. I think I had another great point there and I lost it just at the last moment, but it's fine. I guess it wasn't that important.
There was something else I was going to say too, but
I just wanted to, this is what I wanted to say, which is just that, like, as people have pointed out, you know, you can talk about the politics of the movie or whatever, and how has good politics or bad politics, or which movies do and don't. But I think we do have to get away from this idea that consuming media is like a political act in and of itself, which we know it's not. Sure. It's not radical. It's not a radical political act to go see the Avatar way of the Disney Corporation's Avatar way of water in the theater. It is a radical act, though, to like blow up an oil pipeline or to fight back violently against like colonizers that are destroying the planet, destroying these cultures, which is an act that this film explicitly endorses, like in no uncertain terms. So I think that's also something to keep in mind when we talk about the politics of the film.
I would also like to, just because there has been a lot of chatter, even in this very chat, about the length of the film, that I agree with James Cameron that people sit and watch like 7 episodes straight of fucking TV shows,
Yeah.
like every single day, like every weekend. People are like, I watched like 7 hours of some shitty fucking reality show, or like I binged all of Stranger Things. Like, I just don't think it's that crazy to, for like the price for $20 to be given 3 full hours of a truly insane experience. And yeah, like they actually have bathrooms.
Yeah, you can go pee.
That
It's
you
not.
can go
It's
to.
fine.
I mean,
You know?
just to even respond directly right now to the person in your chat, like, why do this when you could be gaming? Gamers will sit for fucking 9 hours and like mine a fake mineral in World of Warcraft or something like that. Like, why spend that time gaming when you could spend that time in Pandora, I would say.
Yeah, it's true. I just want to spend it in Pandora as well.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Absolutely.
But
I could have
anyway,
gone 5.
like,
Give me 5 hours next time. I can do it. I can take it.
if people want to be, white saviors by blowing up oil rigs and stuff like that, I say in parody and allegedly, go ahead.
I would never endorse that personally, obviously, but it's something that this film does endorse. It would be very interesting if that were to happen. Absolutely. Jack, thanks so much. I wanted to catch up with you a bit more about like Biden and all that stuff, because I remember we had a great conversation in like 2019. We were dreading what it would look like if Biden was possibly elected. I would really like to get your thoughts on that, but I don't want to keep you too much longer. Maybe you can come back sometime in the new year and we can catch up again, because it's really great to get to catch up with you.
That sounds good. Yeah, just let me know. I'm generally around, but yeah, we can find a time. I'd love to whenever I'm available.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, and like Hildebeest in the chat is pointing out, I literally sit here for like 4 hours a day here talking into a camera.
It's funny that people are like, Avatar's too long. I'm like, do you sit for 6 straight hours and watch someone play Minecraft while talking about Joe Biden? Like, I think we have to get over that particular criticism.
Yeah. Especially it's my friend Jordan. He's trying to rib me. He's ribbing me in the chat. That's why it gets under your skin like that. I get it. But thanks so much, Jack. It was really great to talk to you about this. I'm glad you enjoyed the movie. I'm looking forward to seeing round 2, and we'll catch up again soon. Thanks for doing this.
Good times. I'll talk to you later on. Yeah, later.
Take care.
Thanks for having me.
Take care, Jack. Jack Allison, folks, of Jack AM and Struggle Session podcast. That was great. It was great to catch up with Jack. Thanks, Jordan. Even though you were ribbing us and trying to talk trash about this epic film experience, thank you for the 25 months resub at Tier 1. I really appreciate that, Jordan. Thank you for that. Yeah, that was great. We miss Jack AM. I understand why Jack doesn't want to do the streaming grind anymore. I get it. The streaming grind has worn me down a lot as well. But we miss Jack AM though. It was a great program. One of the inspirations for me to start doing Twitch in the first place, seeing Jack and Tate doing the streamer grind set. I watched a movie last night. It was a crisp 80 minutes. Well, that's the thing. It's like, normally I agree. Like normally with most films, I agree. Give me a tight 90. I agree. I don't want to see a 3-hour Spider-Man movie. Okay, I don't. Or a 2.5-hour Spider-Man movie. Give me a tight 90. There are exceptions though. And for James Cameron, I'm going to make an exception. For Avatar and the World of Pandora, I will make an exception for that. That was really fun. I hope people got something out of that. That was great stuff. Arrived a bit late. Been rushed off my feet doing the care thing. I'm sure to catch the pod when it's released. I know the feeling, Dave. That's what I'll be up to most of the next week. I'm excited to eventually watch this thing. Yeah, Sean. Well, yeah, like I think we did a good job actually of talking about the film without too much spoiler stuff. I think we did even though I said that it would be spoiler heavy, I think we did successfully.
You've just become an elite.
We did successfully avoid that, tiptoe around that. People should, however, sit for hours listening to the insurgents over on YouTube. That's right. We're pivoting to video on the Insurgents podcast. We're getting into video. So you should do that for 8 hours, 9, 10, 12, whatever it is. GMO Radio, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. And in fact, I do have to go soon. I have to go in about 5 minutes. This was just a short stream. I just wanted to make sure to get in.
You can count on me. You're gonna have
that conversation with Jack Allison.
Came
just in time to miss the Avatar review.
Just in time to miss the Avatar review.
Why am I reading it? There's a text to speech that happens. Why am I reading it? Thank you, Red Wizard, for the 15 months tier 1. And on this episode of The Insurgents, guess what hat Jordan is wearing? I've actually already forgotten. I don't know if he was wearing a hat. God, I'm not a very observant person. So folks, this is the final episode of TRRS of the year. I'm going to be taking a little break in the next week. We'll be back in the new year. I know it was a short stream, but I do hope you enjoyed the stream today. And if you do want to support this channel, remember folks, that is how you do it, is by subscribing for $5 per month or totally free of charge with your Amazon Prime account. I hope that people have got something out of this stream and this community this year. As I was saying yesterday, it's been a kind of a fucked up year for me on a number of levels. That's why I'm going to try to make more of an effort to, I think, disconnect a little bit in the coming year. But I hope people got something out of this community throughout the year, and I hope, I certainly did really appreciate having this community this year.
You've just become an elite member of the Friendship Triangle.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John, for the 5 gifted subs. I very much appreciate that, John, and for everything you do for the community. Thank you, John. Thank you. We love the stream and want Rob to be healthy, but also hope that involves coming back in the new year full of beans. I'll be full of beans, all right. Believe you me. Believe you me, I will be full of so much beans. You won't even believe. You won't even believe how many beans there's going to be. Thanks again, John, for that. Thank you. This MF is just full of beans. 1 second, I just have to send a text here.
You've just become an elite member of the Friendship Triangle.
Oh, goodness gracious. Were you able to confirm if that was your music in the video of the Quebecois trucker hitting 2 cop cars in a snowstorm that we watched on on Left Flank Vets? I am not totally familiar with what you're talking about, so I'm not sure. Relic, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you, Relic, for the 10 gifted subs. Wait, hold on a sec. You know what I got to do? You know I had to do it to him. I had to do it to him.
Wow. Okay, Rob. Seriously, wow.
Relic, thank you so much. I really appreciate the 10 subs. And yeah, I'm glad you're as enthusiastic of an Avatar head as I am. I appreciated hearing your thoughts of the film as well. Can't wait for round 2. Cannot wait for round 2. So that's it, everybody. That's a wrap. That's a wrap for TRRS in 2022. Have a nice Christmas. Thanks for talking me through the year. It was an absolute pleasure talking people through all this year. I think the thing that I've realized is that I sometimes need someone to talk me through it. That's kind of the issue, which is why I have to leave in like 5 minutes to go to therapy. That's where I'm going right now. Here's the video. What is this? Okay, what is this? Hold on. Wait a sec. Shit. I don't want that. Here we go. No, that is not me. That is a pretty decent kind of pop punk groove, but I don't know. I'm not sure what this is.
Not sure where the time is gone, but I chill around this place. It's sunset sleeps. You know I always got bigger dreams. I keep looking in the mirror. Ah! God, yes!
That's clearly My Chemical Snowmats. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Marty. You're ending the year the way you came into it. With the fucking dad jokes. Did you see your solstice tweet? Yes, I did. You missed your opportunity to say, "Hey, solsticers." Yeah, I saw that. Yes. Yes, I saw it. Yes, it was funny, okay? It was funny. Good job. What do we got here? I gotta go. We got the Dan Simpson raid yesterday, so we'll return the favor. Actually, we won't. We won't return the Dan Simpson raid favor because I can't raid again. I can't do it. Unless I log out and log back in, which is a whole complicated process. Fellow patriots, I'm hungover after a banger Christmas party. Woo. And I have intel that Obama's leading the effort to lock up the young thug, Rob Rousseau. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Obama. Yeah, I, Dan Simpson. Marty. Thank you, Marty. Maybe I should turn this into a Hurstwood song. I need one more song for the album. I could turn this into like a song with guitar and vocals and all that stuff. I don't know. I kind of like it just as an instrumental. Say bye for the final time this year, Rob. I guess you will be seeing us later. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. No, I can't hit the button. The button I have offered is leave. I can leave the raid. I can leave the raid that I'm doing from this channel. That's my option. Okay, Marty, hit the button. Do it. Marty, hit the button. Marty, hit the raid button. You've got to go back to Dan Simpson's raid channel.